when we work with the databases, we'll be learning about database programming later. But when we are learning database programming, all of you, yeah, when you guys are learning the database programming here, okay, look. When you're working with a database here, I want to store some data in a database, or I want to access some data from a database. Anything I want to do. If you wanted to do, you are provided with a predefined class called as connection. You are provided with a predefined class called as connection. We're required to take the help of that class. Actually, there are 4 connection classes available. There are 4 connection classes that are available. What are the 4? ODBC connection, Oracle connection. So what is the difference? ODBC connection. This is designed for connecting with relational database. This is designed for connecting with relational databases. OLDB connection. This is designed for connecting with relational and non-relational databases. Both. It can work on relational, it can work on non-relational. SQL. This is designed to connect with SQL Server database. Designed to connect with SQL Server database. This is designed to connect with Oracle database. So based on your requirement, suppose you want to connect with Oracle, you will be creating the instance of the Oracle connection class, and that class will help you in connecting with Oracle. Want to connect with SQL Server, you will create an instance of SQL connection class. It will help you in connecting with SQL Server. I want to connect MySQL. I want to connect with MySQL. You will be creating the instance of the OLDB connection class, and that will help you in connecting with MySQL. Okay. You wanted to connect to it. I just wanted to connect it. Some hierarchical database. I want to connect with some hierarchical database. You can take the help of the ODBC connection class. Like this, different classes, 4 classes are there. Depending on the requirement, you will be taking the help of a separate class. Are you clear? But now, all of you carefully understand this. What you know? You want to work with a class. If you want to work with a predefined class, what to do first? But all you want to work with any predefined class, the first thing you have to do is create the instance of the class. Are you following me? Response. Okay. So you create the instance of class. Any of the 4 classes, you create the instance. After creating the instance, what do you do next? You know? Okay. Check now. Check now, guys. First, you will be creating the instance of a connection class. Switch it off. Okay. So, guys, have a look. The first thing what you're required to do is create the instance of a connection class. Is it clear now? Hello. Is the voice clear? Okay. So first you will be creating the instance of the connection class. Okay, created. After creating the instance of the connection class, you will be calling some methods and properties of the class. You'll be calling some methods and properties of the class now. Which class? Connection class. Each connection class, listen, each connection class is associated with some 30 to 40 members. Each connection class is associated with some 30 to 40 members. How many connection classes are there? 4. 4 into 40? 160. Okay. Now see the headache now. You want to work with ODBC connection. You're required to call the members present in the ODBC connection class. Same way for OLDB connection, separate. SQL connection, separate. Oracle connection, separate. Like this, you have different members, what you'll be calling up. Now tell me, remembering 40 members of each class, is it easy? Tell me guys, remembering 40 members of each class, is it easy now? It's not easy now. So if all classes are having the same number, then tell me, it is going to be easy to identify the members now. Means if all the classes have the same member names, the method names are same in all the classes. When the method names are same in all the classes, if you know one class and understand the 40 members of the class, you can now work with the remaining 3 classes also in the same way now. Yes or not? This is only explained in the video also. You know that there is a method called getArea in cone class. The same method is present in rectangle, triangle, circle also. One method only be taken, but today we are talking about 40 methods. 40 methods present in one class, the same names repeated in the other 3 classes, easy or not? So now you require to remember 40 or 160. 40 or 160. 40, if I remember 40 members, that is enough now. So how did they define, First, they defined a class called DB connection. And remember, this is a abstract class. This is a abstract class. They defined a class called as DB connection. Understood or not? After defining the class called as a DB connection, now what they have done, under the DB connection abstract class, all these classes are defined. Under the DB connection abstract class, all the classes are defined. So now, what a DB connection is like our figure class now. You declared a getArea method there now. Same way, all the 40 members are first declared in DB connection and implemented under the 4 classes. Now understand here, you learned first about one class. Which class? ODBC connection class. You understood all the members of the class now. Now you want to go to OLDB connection. You don't require to know anything newly now. Whatever you have in ODBC connection only present in OLDB connection, SQL connection and Oracle connection also now. So if you learn one class, you can work with the 4 classes. Is it going to be an easy approach or not? So that is the ideology behind the abstract classes and the abstract methods. I hope everyone is clear. Yes or not? So this is the example what I given for you in the printout guy, in the notes also, in the video. And I said you that example code is available for you in the notes. You can practice it. Okay, I'm adding a class here. I will name this class as test figures. What the class? Test figures. Now in this file, I am first writing my first class. What is it? Public abstract class figure. What did I declare in this? Public constant float pi is equals to 3.14f. Public double width, height, radius, and then public abstract double getArea, right? This is what we have done in the first class. Next, Under that we defined 4 child classes, correct? What is the first class? Cone, inheriting from figure. Next, circle, inheriting from figure. Next, triangle, inheriting from figure. Next, rectangle, inheriting from figure. Array, in the future, not only these 4 I may still write more classes also. What is it? A hexagon, an octagon, a polygon. I can write. Today we just defined 4. We can add more classes here. So in all the classes, what you're required to do, the first thing you're required to do is, you're required to define a constructor and initialize the attributes required for that class. What are the attributes required for a cone, guys? Height and radius. So what you do, you define a constructor, public cone, double height, double radius. This dot height is equals to height and this dot radius is equals to radius. Come to circle. Public circle, double radius. This dot radius is equals to radius. This dot radius is equals to radius. Next, public triangle, double width and double no. Generally, for a triangle, what we call base height. The base is nothing but width only here. But in our school days, what I thought? Base and height, correct? Huh? I followed the same thing only. But when initializing, they'll say, this dot width is equals to base. And this dot height is equals to height. That's all. Are you clearer or not? Same way, rectangle. For a rectangle, what we have? Length. This is what you learned now, length and breadth. We call them as length and breadth. Length is nothing but width. Breadth is nothing but height. Okay. This dot width is equals to length. This dot height is equals to breadth. So now you understood, you defined up the constructor, you defined the constructor, and in the constructor, you just gone for initializing all the attributes now. What next here? You're required to override the getArea method and implement the logic now. Come on, public. No need all these things. Simply type here, override. And when you type override, the method will come here, getArea, select it. And I said, you remember, it is abstract, what it shows you? Understood? If it is over virtual, what it shows you? Base dot and calls the method. Override means it will show you thrown you, not implemented exception. Okay? Come on, let's write the code. What is the formula to calculate the area of a rectangle? Length into breadth. Length into breadth is nothing but width into height. Written width into height. Is it clear or not? Okay, next. Come to here. Written 0.5 into width into height. Half base into height. Nothing but half width into height. Next, triangle. What is the formula to calculate the area of a triangle? sorry, circle. Pi into radius into radius. And finally, cone. What the formula? The cone formula is going to be very lengthy. The formula for calculating the area of a cone is lengthy. What is that? Area of cone. Yeah. Pi into r square plus pi into r plus square root of r square plus height square. Okay. Anyhow, I just printed that in the notes. I'll copy from there. Yeah, I know I given that in the notes. Something. Yeah. Pi into radius plus math dot square root of height into height plus radius into radius. Something. Is the code. Okay. So here math is a predefined class. Here math is a predefined class, and in that class there is a method called as square root. There is a method called as square root method. The square root method will return you the square root of the things. Okay. Fine. All the methods are implemented now. Okay. What next? What next here? Create the instances and call the methods. Yeah, have a look. Now come here, static void main. Done. Console dot read line. I need to run test figures. Okay. What happened? Got hanged up. Yeah. Got it? So this is the same thing what was explained to you under the video. This is the same thing what was explained for you under the video. Are you clear, everyone? I just written the code, that's all. If you missed out still, refer to the video. Okay? Fine. So it's all about abstract classes and abstract methods. Okay, leave it. Now actually yesterday we were discussing about what? Interfaces. You understood how to define interface? You understood how to implement the abstract methods of interface under the child class? Well, today I'm going to explain you two things with interfaces. One is the need of interfaces in our applications. What is the need of interfaces in our application? Two. Second thing I'm going to explain is interfaces supports multiple inheritance. So don't we have an problem? Interfaces supports multiple inheritance. So don't we have ambiguity problem? Because we already discussed like multiple inheritance is not supported because of ambiguity problem. But interfaces supports multiple inheritance now. So are we not going to face the ambiguity problem here now? Did you catch my point or not? Are we not going to face the ambiguity problem here now? So this is the big question now. So let me explain you both these two concepts. The first thing I'm going to explain you is, where do we use interfaces in real time? Where do we use the interfaces in real time? Guys, last week I explained you about a case study of ATM machines, right? And in this process, I explained about the three machines here. One, the first machine is ATM machine. Second, application server. Third, database server. What does the ATM machine contain on it? A lightweight UI. User interface, just some buttons to click and all the things. Second one, what this contains? The class. Which class? Under which we implemented the logic. What this contains? Tables. What it contains is the tables. Are you clear? So what are you going to install here is a class. And what are you going to install here is the tables. Remember all these things or not? What did I say? When the customer comes to ATM machine and swipe the card, what happens? There will be a card reader on the machine. The card reader on the machine will read the customer ID. After reading the customer ID, that customer ID will be sent to application server. Application server will create the instance of customer class. In this process, it will connect to database and loads all the data associated with that customer. Correct? Where the instance is created? Application server. Finally, a reference of that instance will be sent to the ATM machine, using which clients will call the methods. This is what I explained you now. Yes or not? First, what is the first step? You say yes sir, but you don't remember anything. Client swipes the card on ATM. Are you clear? Client swipes a card on ATM. Next, and ATM. Machine reads the ID and sends to application server. Okay, now application server creates instance of customer class, and in this process it will connect to database and loads all the data associated with the client from database. Load all the data from database. Okay, next. Now, from database server. Okay, now application server will send a reference to the instance, a reference to the instance created to whom? To whom? To the client, nothing but ATM. Okay. Now, using the reference, we can perform transactions by calling. Are you clear? This is what I explained you already. Come on, guys. Any doubts with anything? Okay. So the step-by-step process, I already explained you all these things for you in the last week. Now concentrate on the fourth step, all of you. Concentrate on the fourth step. Okay. Before you concentrate on the fourth step, I have a question. Answer the question. I have a method that returns a string. And I am calling that method. And now I need to capture the string now. The method returns a string. I need to capture the string. What should I do? I need to declare a string variable first. Correct or not? Example, read line. Read line is a value returning method. To capture this value, what a string str is equals to. What is the method returning? The method returns a string. So I declared a string variable and captured. Suppose the method returns a double. What will you do? Louder, yaar. We declare a double variable. The method returns integer. Declare an integer variable. The method returns object. Declare an object variable. Are you clearer or not? Whatever it returns, you are required to declare the variable of that type now. Okay. Now the method returns a value of type string. Listen, the method returns a value of type string. So we are declaring a string variable. Now see, the server returns a value of type customer. What should I do? Come on, write only confidently. You need to declare a variable of type customer. Array, string is a class, customer is a class. Just like you declare a string class variable, now you are required to declare a customer class variable. Are you clear? What the server returns? The server returns a value of type customer. So you are required to declare the customer variable. Now read the fourth step. Who returns it? Who should declare it? Answer that question. Who returns it? Application server, right? Who returns it? Application server. Who should capture it? Client. Client means ATM. Who should capture? ATM. Means on the ATM, do I require to create a customer class variable or not? Come on, participate. I'm telling you. On the ATM, what should I do? Create a customer class variable. But tell me, to create a customer class variable, do I need the class to be present here or not? To create a customer class variable, do I need the class to be present on the ATM machine or not? Without the class, you cannot create the variable of any type, not possible. But what did I explain you guys? We are not going to install the class on the client computer at all. If you install the class on the client computer, problem is there. What is the problem? Tomorrow, there are 10,000 ATM machines. You install this class on all the 10,000 machines now. Tomorrow there is an update for the class. You're required to update 10,000 ATM machines. Are you ready? Tell me. To overcome this problem, where do we put the class? We put the class on one single location, that is application server. But problem is, if the class is not present on the client computer, if the class is not present on the client computer, creating the variable of the class will not be possible. Are you getting my point or not? What is not possible? Creating the variable of the class. Creating the variable of the class will not be possible. Understood my point? Okay. 1. Now in the rule number 3 of inheritance, you learned a point, remember? You can capture the reference. You can capture the reference of class under the variable of the same class as well as in the parent class also. Yes or not? You can capture the reference of a class. Again, what happened? Hello? Is it clear, guys? Is that clear now? Okay. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, so what you're required to do, you're required to create a variable of the same class. If it is not available, second option is parent class. Second option is parent, not parent class, parent. You can also capture in a variable of the parent. Tell me, who is the parent of customer? Who is the parent of customer? Server, what is server here? Array, brainless fellows, object class here. How many times I should tell you this point? For every class, the default parent is object class. Understood? Who is the parent of customer? Object. Object is a parent. Customer ID is a member of the class. It's not a parent of customer. So now tell me on the ATM, can I capture it like this? Object obj is equals to capture the reference of customer sent by Are you guys clearer or not? Tell me. Actually, what you require your customer, but customer is not available here. Because customer is not available, which class I'm taking now? Object class. Object obj is equals to, I'm just trying to capture this. Object obj is equals to, and I am trying to capture this one. Okay? But problem is, even though I can capture it, like capturing is possible, but don't you remember, this cannot call child class members at all. If you want to capture, no props, but we cannot call the child class members. So is it useful or useless? Is it useful or useless? This is useless. Why is it useless? When I cannot capture, when I cannot call the members, what will you do now? Is it possible to call the members? No. When it is not possible to call the members, there is no point of capturing it like this. Is it clear or not? Understood my point here? Okay. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to install this class on the client machine? No. If I install the class on the client machine, tomorrow complications will come. What complications? Whenever the class is updated, I require to update all the 10,000 or 20,000 ATM machines of the bank. That becomes a headache. Okay. To resolve this problem, we take the help of interfaces. To resolve the problem, we take the help of interfaces. How, sir? Do you remember the class customer you defined? This is how you define the customer class. Public class customer. And inside of this class, you declared int customer ID, string name, double balance. Okay. Long, static long count, and constant string bank name, Remember or not? All these things are explained for you. Then we define a constructor, public, customer. For this we passed a customer ID parameter. Then this dot customer ID is equals to customer ID. Next, name is equals to load name from database table for the given customer ID. Balance is equals to what? Load balance from database table for the given customer ID. Are you guys clearer or not? Are you understanding me? Like this, we just load. And then we defined 4 methods in this class, I remember. What are the 4 methods? Public, double, get balance, return balance. Public, double, get balance, return balance. Okay. Public void, and I just wanted to call up this method. Sorry, a method. What is that? Deposit. Double amount. Double amount. And what did I write? Balance plus equals to amount. Afterwards, update. Balance back to database table based on the customer ID. Update balance back to database. Up balance to database based on the customer ID. Same way, another method. Withdraw. What do you call, guys? Minus. One more. Funds transfer. For funds transfer, one more parameter required, remember? What is it? Destination ID. Destination ID. Now you have update balance to database table based on the, yeah, this is what I explained all of you. Are you clearer or not? Understood me? How many methods are there? 4. What are the 4 methods? Get balance, deposit, withdraw, and transfer. Alright, tomorrow so many methods can be present, but we have 4 methods. Okay, now what is our problem now? Our problem is the ATM machine need to capture the reference of customer without installing customer class there. One option to capture is parent object, but no use because it cannot call child class members. It cannot call because all the methods are pure child class members. Well, overridden members can it call? Yes or not? If they are overridden members, it can call, but they are not overridden members. They are pure child class members. So because they are pure child class members, they cannot be called. Because they are pure child class members, they cannot be called. What can be called? Overridden members can be called, but pure child class members cannot be called. Are you clearer or not? Okay. Now, to resolve this problem, what do we do? First, before you write this class, all of you concentrate. This is where interfaces comes into action. Before you define the class, okay, what you require to do, declare one interface. And inside of the interface, write all the methods. Listen, write all the methods. What methods you wanted to define in the class? Write all the methods you want to define in the class. Now, what are the methods you want to define in the class? First one, double get balance. Second, void deposit. Next, void withdraw. Void withdraw. Next, void funds transfer. Int, you declare all the methods. After declaring all the methods, what you do? Make it as a parent. Once it becomes a parent, now tell me, implementing these methods under the class is mandatory for the child class or not? Yes or not? Now tell me, whatever method is defined in the class customer is first declared in the interface I customer. Agree with me? Are you clear? Okay. Now what you do, listen. Come back. Come here. Come to the ATM machine. What do you install in the ATM machine? A lightweight UI plus. We install two things there. What are the two things? The lightweight UI plus interface is lightweight or heavyweight? Interface is lightweight or heavyweight? Lightweight, but no code na. Tomorrow you have 100 methods, also 100 lines code. That's all. Interface is lightweight. Tomorrow, will you be having frequent changes in an interface? Will you be having changes in the interface logic? Come on, in the future, will you be having changes in the interface logic? There is no logic at all there. Now you will change the logic. Body present and mind absent. What interface contains here? Abstract methods without any logic. And you're telling you'll change logic now. No logic at all there. Now. What is there? Only declaration. Are you clear? So tell me, do you have changes? Tell me, do you have any changes? No changes. Correct? So changes will not occur in the interface. So tomorrow if the class updates also, I don't require to update the interface on all the 10,000 ATM machines now. One time install. Correct? Now, can I replace it like this? Can I replace it like this? A child instance can be assigned to any of the parent. Yes or not? Now tell me, using OBJ, can I call the methods? Yes, because for OBJ, all the 4 methods are overridden members. If I use object class, they are pure child members. But if I use interface, they are overridden members. Did you understand the concept now? This is how interfaces gets used in the real-time environment. If at all you wanted to build a distributed application where logic executing on one system, and the logic is consumed from other systems, interfaces will come into action. Client machine will contain the interface and the server machine will contain the class. The class will be on the server machine. Okay. So in the runtime, what will happen? The class instance will be created and sent to client. We capture it in an interface variable and that becomes a reference. So now see, in the above case, OBJ is a reference of which class? Some other class captured under its parents reference, and using that reference we can call the member of customer base. Any doubts? Answer, yeah. Did you understand? So without declaring the interface, can we define the class? No. Is it mandatory to define interface? Yes. It is mandatory to define the interface. I cannot tell you this concept. Why? Because at that point of time, we don't know what is an interface. Are you clearer? On that day, I said you simply reference is sent to client computer.
You two did not ask me a question. What question? Sir, when the reference reaches the client computer, how to capture it? You did not ask this question. I did not. Now I only said you, when the reference reaches the client machine, to capture it, you require interface. This interface will help the clients in two ways, What are the two ways? It will help in holding the reference of the class. Already explained you. Two, you can look into the interface to know the methods of the class. Every method of the class is first in the interface now. So if you look in the interface, can you know the methods? Yes or not? The ATM will look into the interface to know what methods are actually defined in the class. Clearer or not? So we call this interface as a proxy to the class. What is that? Proxy to the class. What is proxy? Proxy means a representative. The class is not coming to the client. Without the class coming to the client, it is sending the interface to the client. Interface will behave like the class on the client computer. Are you clear? Understood the importance of an interface, all of you? So this is a story how interfaces are used in application development. Okay? Yeah, one concept done. I said I promised to teach you one thing. What is that? About multiple inheritance. We learned earlier in Java and .NET, multiple inheritance is not supported through classes because of ambiguity. Because of, remember, there's a picture you need to remember. Already I shown you this picture to all of you. For everyone I shown you this picture already. Class 3 has to parent class 2. But tomorrow there is a chance of having the same method in class 1 and class 2 also. So this can lead to ambiguity. So because of this ambiguity, multiple inheritance is not supported. Because of this ambiguity, multiple inheritance is not at all supported. Multiple inheritance is not supported. Okay, now. Okay, fine. Okay, multiple inheritance is not supported. Fine. Now, yesterday what I said multiple inheritance is supported with interfaces, I said. Multiple inheritance is supported with. Now we have a doubt. Sir, don't we have ambiguity problem with interfaces? Tomorrow this scenario can repeat here. Watch it now. Did you understand the picture or not? Two parent interfaces containing the same method called test. Ambiguity problem can arise now. Yes or not? Be active here. Lazily you'll put your faces. Be active. You're learning something. It should be interesting on your face. I find sleeping only always in your face. Okay? So what I'm telling you? Two interfaces are there. The same method was present in both the interfaces. Sir, what about ambiguity now? Is the voice taking in the middle? Check out now. All of you, just check out now. Check the voice now. So, what about this scenario? If there are two interfaces with the same method, what about ambiguity problem? Don't we have ambiguity problem? Are you clearer or not? Don't we have ambiguity problem now? So this will be a big question. This will be a dilemma for us just to understand, are we not going to face the ambiguity problem now? No, guys, we are not going to face the ambiguity problem. Why? Why is that? Why? Because, listen, in this picture, the first picture, what is class 3 doing? Class 3 is consuming the members of class 1 and class 2, right or not? What is class 3 doing? Consuming. Don't forget the word. It is consuming the members of class 1 and class 2. Means, once you do that, immediately the members of the parent class will now become the members of the child class now. Are you clearer or not? In this scenario, the members of the parent class will immediately become the members of the child class. So now see, class 3 has two test methods now with the same signature ambiguity. Correct or not? Now come to this picture. What's it? What is class doing there? Is it consuming the members of the interface? Yes, tomorrow onwards, sit this side here, because you people sitting there, I'm looking at this way, I'm getting a neck kick. That's why I say you sit before me. You people are there, my head is dividing off like this. I'm getting off neck kick. Okay, just please sit this side. Okay. What is the class doing now? Consuming or implementing? Implementing. Yes or not? Means, are the interfaces giving anything to the child to consume? Then why will ambiguity arise now? Are you clearer or not? Why will ambiguity arise now? Ambiguity won't arise now. Why? You are not consuming, you are implementing. This is not reusability. Understood? I'll show you practically. Watch. All of you can concentrate. I'll show this practically. Let me write two interfaces in the code. Interface 1. The first one is interface 1. Here, let's write a method void test. Okay, now one more interface. Void test. Is it clear, all of you? We have a method called void test in both the two interfaces. We have a method called void test in both the two interfaces. Point clear, all of you? Okay. Now, listen. I am going to write a class. I will name this class as any name here. IMPL class. What is that? Nothing here. Implementation class. IMPL class. This IMPL class is implementing interface 1, interface 2. Okay, guys, observe. When I do this, immediately I'll get two errors. The two interfaces are showing error there. What is the error? Array, you did not implement my test method. You did not implement my test method. Both are telling. Interface 1 is telling, you did not implement my test method. Interface 2 is also telling, you did not implement my test method. So both the two interfaces are telling the test method is not implemented. Got it? Yes or not? Now I need to implement the method. Okay, guys, watch. I am going to write public void test. When I have written public void test, all of you watch. Both the two errors are resolved there. No error at all. But you will be wondering, what is that? Sir, you implemented the method only for one time only, na? It is of interface 1 or interface 2? Yes or not? Array, whatever it is. What is the problem now? What interface 1 asked us to do? What interface 1 asked the class to do? Implement the method. Implemented or not? What interface 2 asked to do? Implemented now. Simple common sense here. Both the two interfaces are asking to implement the method. Implemented now. Did they say what logic should be used to implement? They're asking to implement, that's all. Yes, I implemented. The point here is interface 1 is not aware the method is present in interface 2. Interface 1 is not aware the method is present in interface 2. Yes or not? Tell me, because it is not present, it is not aware of that, it is thinking this method is my method. Interface 2 is also thinking the same now. This method is my method. Let them think what happens. Implementation should be done. Wow, there's no point of writing 2 times implementation. Method is same only now. Even you write 1 time also, that is going to be done. See, console dot write line declared under interfaces. Now come here, create the class instance, and then call the method c dot test. And all of you can observe no ambiguity or anything. Did you understand me or not? See, when now why ambiguity comes with classes, understand here. Class 1 is pushing a test method into class 2, class 3. Class 2 is pushing a test method into class 3. Now the 2 classes have pushed the 2 test methods now. In one class, there are 2 methods with the same name and signature. Ambiguity will come now. Yes or not? But interface is pushing anything. No. Interface is requesting you, write my method. Write the implementation for my method. That is why ambiguity problem will not arise. Any doubts? Are you clear? Ambiguity problem arises only when you are consuming, not when you are implementing. Okay, I'll show you one more thing also, watch. I'll show you one more thing also, watch. Void show. One more method, guys. Void show. One more method. Can I implement this method also same like the previous one or not? Come on, guys, tell me. Can I implement this method also same like the previous one? Yes, you can implement. But I have another way to implement. I have another option to implement. What is it, another option, sir? You can implement this method. You can implement this method separately for each interface. What is that? You can implement the method separately for each interface. How, sir? How can I do that? Watch. Yesterday I shown you 2 options to you. When I right click on the interface, quick actions and refactorings, I shown you 2 options. Do you remember? Implement interface explicitly. When you right click here and go to quick actions here, it will show you the appropriate options. What's it? Implement interface. Implement all members of explicitly. And other one is implement interface. Implement, when I call implement interface, see how is it writing the code? Public void show. Are you clear? And second option, implement all members explicitly. Implement all members explicitly. What is that? Interface name is prefix the same. Yes or not? This is called explicit implementation. Now your third option also. What is that? Implement remaining members implicitly. What is remaining? One you are done. You done test. Remaining is show. So remaining explicitly. Click on that. When you click on that, automatically it will be generating you the method to you. All of you observe. Is it clear or not? What we call this as explicit implementation. Now in this scenario, you can write the method separately for each interface. This is called explicit implementation. Understood, everyone? I'm writing the logic separately for the method now. One for interface 1, once for interface 2. So ambiguity will not arise. Why? Interface name is prefixed before the method name. Are you clear? And guys, remember very important point here. Now you cannot write public on that. Yesterday I said, the method should have public, otherwise error will come. Now you can't write. Why I can't write, sir? Because you already prefixed the interface name and it's very clear interface members are public. No need to write public again on that method. No need to write public again on that method. Is it clear or not? Understood? Two ways to implement. One, implement it only for one time, where all the interfaces will think this is my method. Two, explicit implementation. Implement the method separately for each interface. Once for interface 1 and once for interface 2. Say, declared under interface 1. Declared under interface 2. Declared under interface 1 and declared under interface 2. Okay, now the question arises, how to call it, sir? How to call it? Because if you call c.show, confusion again now. Correct or not? Watch it. C dot. Guys, observe, the show method is not in the list at all. Can you see that? Show method is not in the list at all. Oh, then how to call it? You can call it only by using the reference of the interface. Are you clearer? What is I1? Reference of interface 1. What is I2? Now see, I1 dot show. I2 dot show. Run. Are you clearer or not? See, we don't come across these type of scenarios. Maximum we don't come across here. But by mistake, if you come across anywhere, you can resolve it like this. Either go for single implementation or either go for explicit implementation. Either go for what? Single implementation or either go for explicit implementation. Any doubts? Come on, online students, come on, respond. Any doubts to anyone? Did you understand the concept? All these things, really do we use this means? No, no guys. Interview point of view, these are very, very important to us. When you are going to answer in the interviews, all these things will be very, very important for us. I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, now? So this is about interfaces. So we completed about 2 types till now. What are the 2 types? One is class type. We finished about class type debrief yesterday. And yesterday we learned about interface types. We learned about 2 things. Abstract classes also. We completed the discussion interface. Okay now? Now listen all of you. What are the types C# supports? How many? Yesterday I said 5. What are the 5? Class, interface, delegates, enums, structure. So listen guys, the 3rd type is structure. The 3rd type is structure. What is the structure? Same guys, this is also a user defined type like a class or interface. And this can contain only Did you understand me? What it can contain? Take a class. Your class can contain, am I right or not? Come on guys. If you declare the class as abstract, it can contain abstract and non-abstract members in it now. Are you clearer or not? Okay. Now, second thing. What is the second one? What it can contain? Only abstract members. Now we have what it can contain. Is that clear, everyone? Yes or not? Okay. So contain only non-abstract members. So this is Similar to what? Non-abstract class. Non-abstract class means will contain only non-abstract members. Non-abstract class can contain only. Structure is also same like a non-abstract class now. Understood or not? This is similar to a non-abstract class. Okay. But now when I say this point, a big question raises in the mind. What is that question, sir? What is that question that raises in the mind is, sir, you're telling structure is similar to a non-abstract class, a class. Structure is similar to a non-abstract class, nothing but a class. Then the question in our minds will be, what is the difference between a class and a structure, sir? Are you clearer or not? What is the difference between a class and a structure? Understood my point or not? So this is the big question. What do we just require to understand the difference between a class and a structure? Understood me? Okay, we'll discuss on this here. There's so many differences between a class and a structure, which tells you when to use a class and when to use a structure, when classes should be used and when structures should be used. Okay, we'll understand it in the tomorrow session, the differences between class and structure. Guys, are you up to date? Completed everything till yesterday? Don't put pendings, I'm telling you. No pendings at all. Okay, now you watched up that particular video. I'll give you another video to watch here. The video is, I don't know, video number 30, it will be something around 30. The video is difference between string and string builder. Search it here in the 60 video somewhere in the 30 series. There is a video called the difference between string and string builder. Are you clear? Just a 20 minutes video, that's all. Watch that video, guys. Differences between string and string builder. Okay, let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow.
Recording stopped.